You check them. Oh, you're not ready yet? Put them back in. And so it's one of those things. And I hate to say it, make it sound like hot pockets, but
That's like put
that's
them in the oven and cook a little bit longer. Okay.
that's
And then they come out and you're like, because it's too hot. It's too hot.
What's up, Internet World? We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Leroy.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Michael.
And we're here to talk about Westworld.
Latest episode.
Yep.
Which
Past-
was
Past Pawn?
Past Pawn. Yeah. Very weird phrase to say, but yeah. I don't know.
Is that a chess thing?
I mean, a pawn is a chess thing. I don't know if a past pawn is a particular chess term. I don't know.
I don't know.
Something
Something
probably my chess people, my Kasparovs and whatnots. But yeah. So what we think of this episode?
Woo!
Yep. A passed pawn is a pawn with no opposing pawns to prevent it from advancing to the 8th rank.
Okay.
So this choice for this episode because I feel like there were a lot of pawns in the way. But yeah.
Should we mute Michael? Is he muted?
I mean, he is muted. He is muted.
Himself. I really like this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I had some problems with it, but we'll get into that a little later. But
I thought this episode started off great and kept me throughout the whole episode. So I really appreciated it. I feel like it was what I needed in order to answer some questions that we still had and see how things are going to go forward. Go
into that because you've said you had some questions in every single episode. So I want to know what.
I got a question. Episode, I think it does what it's supposed to do, right? Every episode, ask a question, and then maybe the next episode we get an answer. So the last episode we were asking about Caleb's life, so what are we going to get from Caleb? And this we did answer the question. We got an answer for the question of where Caleb came from in terms of his military experience and his past that led him here to where Dolores thinks that he'll be a leader. And so we got that in this episode, and that's what I appreciated that. And I also appreciated the if we're going to get into this episode already, I don't know if we're spoiling it, but the fight scene with Dolores and
Maeve.
I think we needed that. It was going to happen. We were trying to figure out when it was going to happen, and it did. I enjoyed it. And let me just say, Clementine. Okay?
I told you she was coming back.
Yeah. And so again, another question that was answered. We got Clementine back, and along with let me get her name right.
Horoyo?
Yeah.
From Shogun World.
And I thought that was really just a nod back to Shogun World and how great Shogun World was in season 2. But with her saying that Dolores desecrated Musashi's name.
Yes.
By becoming him, having her pearl inside of his body. She was like, he would have never, if he was around, if his pearl was around right now, he would have never gone for whatever you're doing right now. And so I just appreciated that messaging in the beginning too.
It answers a lot. That whole scene answered a lot of questions. But then it asked a lot of questions because we know the two people who are on Dolores, who are now on Dolores' tail, helping Maeve track her down, is Horoyo, and I'm bad with names, so forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Horoyo, from Shogun World, and Clementine. So we know she's basically got her squad.
You also got your girl in there, right? The girl with the tattoo?
Well, that was Ingrid. I mean, Horoyo definitely does have a face tattoo, but also Ingrid. I thought you were talking about Ingrid, Leroy.
No, I was talking about Astrid. No, not Astrid. Armistice. Now, Armistice, remember, is the American version of Horoyo.
Yeah, I think maybe her name is Ingrid in real life. I don't know what I saw. Name-wise.
It might be because remember, it was Armistice and Hector,
Yeah.
And then when we went to Shogun World, they had
same people.
They had people, but they were Japanese.
Yeah.
So I loved seeing them. But I'm gonna be honest with you, that scene of them two walking together and carrying Masashi's head, I was like, yo. But the one thing I thought was interesting about that part was we don't know where they went with that head and that pearl. I will bring this up, Michael, and then I'll throw it to you. Just so people know, when they watch this and they're like, why was Michael on the phone? That was rude. We have other jobs, and that's what Michael is doing. I
had to give Anna Grace some. I needed to give Anna Grace some confidence for the 11 tonight.
So. Oh, I know. Hey, good job. As her surrogate father, she's been having a tough time. Son,
I better let Grace do her thing.
So, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something. But Michael was handling that. One of the things I want to bring up, and then I'm gonna toss it to Michael. We saw Charlotte Hale or Dolores alive. We also
she is pissed.
She got some burns though,
and
she got no hair.
And she is slightly healed. She doesn't look like a lump of charcoal.
No, she doesn't.
Is. And so she's saying Dolores wants us all to die. Do we? And other people we were on, check them out. I want to MCSFO, their podcast. They do the same thing we're doing. We're going to link back up with them later after the season is over. But I try to remember which person brought it up that did Dolores plant that bomb, or was it Sirach? We still don't know. So I think that's very interesting that she hooked up with Maeve, Clementine, and Hale and said, here where they are. Mm-hmm. and divulging part of their plan. I'm still on the side Sirach planted that bomb, and Sirach has turned Dolores. But I could be wrong. Michael, what did you think about this episode?
Disappointed.
Was there a spit take on a computer that don't belong to me?
Now, there were parts that were cool. The Maeve and Dolores fight was very good. It was very well choreographed. The way it was shot was beautiful. It looked great. All the action scenes were great. But
directed by Helen Shaver.
Okay, Caleb's origin, garbage.
Really?
That was so garbage.
Really?
That was 20 minutes of, I was like, this is what we're doing? Yeah, this is,
Oh, wow.
Whenever we do shows, I always say, I never feel like I'm the smartest person in the room in terms of the writers. I was like, oh, I know exactly where you're going with this. Oh, he killed the dude. Yeah, all right, great. That wasn't a shock to me.
Really?
No.
Okay.
He killed Francis Kid Cudi?
Yes. I was like, yeah, he killed. I was like, yeah, obviously. Great.
Okay. I was anticipating, I don't know if I knew that was coming. And I don't know if that makes me not the smartest person in the room. I know I'm not. But I mean, in terms of the writing, and because sometimes I can figure out where we're going with stories, but I wasn't really prepared for that because I did not know that they were going to do this whole thing of it actually wasn't real. Like everything that you thought you saw wasn't what you thought you saw because we injected memories in your mind about how this whole thing.
Augmented reality.
You sounded like Will Smith just now on the Men in Black song. What you think you see, you did not see.
Yeah.
That's great.
Will Smith, friend of the show.
Yeah.
When he did this, he was like,
basically. But yeah, for me, like again, the action parts were really good, but the show slowed down with figuring out Caleb's mystery. Like I don't know what I wanted, but that wasn't it. And you guys have to, and maybe I tuned out for a second. Why did Rehoboam decide to help them? What I missed that.
It didn't. That was Solomon.
That's Solomon.
Sorry. Yeah, not Rehoboam, but the big computer. Why did it decide, the AI decide to help them? What did I miss something?
Because he was shelved for Rehoboam.
Okay.
Because
right.
the one thing I see, I guess I'm in disagreement. I love Caleb's reveal because it's not that I saw it coming. I loved the shock and the disappointment and the utter betrayal Aaron Paul had for what he just what he figured out. Like, I think the thing we've been wondering is, how does he fit into all of this? What did what did Liam see that made him so scared of him? And then said, we didn't kill Francis. And he's like, oh, you thought that's what we did? He was like, no, homie, we didn't do that in the way they did do it. But
Right.
and it was one of those things where I was like, I really liked it because I liked at the end. My problem with this episode wasn't Caleb, it was Bernard and Stubbs, whatever this Spencer for hire.
Are these the stupidest idiots? What is happening?
My problem is with Stubbs and Bernard, and now the Men in Black. Like whatever this mismatch, Spencer for hire, bad 80s A-team thing they got going on. The one thing that I loved about it was when Bernard said she's looking to destroy their world. And I still want to believe Dolores is doing the right thing. But the way that episode was shot and cut, with Caleb walking away from Solomon, angry, and just the visceral look on his face as he's walking away in slow motion, where he is like, I am going to burn this world down.
Dolores doesn't have to destroy the world. He will.
And that's where I was like, I liked it. But again, that's just me. Now, we talked about this with our brothers and sisters from the other channel. We talked about Rehoboam, and I brought up when we talked about this, Rehoboam's a biblical word. It's a Hebrew word. Rehoboam is actually the son of Solomon. Solomon was the first iteration of this AI that was made by the schizophrenic brother, which they haven't perfected, which is interesting because if you remember, Sirach and his brother, when they were in that room, when they were with Liam's dad, and they go, we perfected it. This is, Solomon is the second, is the first iteration. Rehoboam's the second one. So they shelved Solomon in that same area where Sirach shelved his brother.
So Sirach is like the perfect version of humanity or whatever, and his brother is like Solomon, flawed.
And the funny thing about it was when you go back, after you watch the episode and you realize what was being said, remember that the VR Sirach, because Michael, you always complain this whole Sirach not being there is getting old, and I kind of agree with you now.
It happened again in this episode.
It happened again, but remember what he said, and then Dolores and Caleb were like, "Yo, who was that for?" And you realize it's for a whole different iteration because he shelved all of those people in that AI. And that AI didn't want to help them. Remember, the AI called Dolores devil's product. He was like, I don't see anything for her because there's no digital footprint for her because she came around after he'd already been shelved.
Oh, Solomon threw shade at Dolores. She was like, you're not alike. I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, I love that interaction. So, Michael, I take where you're coming from, but for me personally, I loved it. What else did you think was boring?
There were definitely parts that I liked about the episode. It was just that mystery I didn't care for, and it kind of soured me on the episode. But I did like the idea that the whole criminal for hire thing was just another system of control that they created.
You mean Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
In real life?
Yeah, that was just another thing that the AI created to make people think they had another idea of choice for these outliers. I was like,
to regulate criminality is what they said.
Yeah, this is kind of reminding me of the architect from The Matrix or whatever. It's like, all right, I like it.
Hey, hold on. Before you go any further, does watching Westworld make you appreciate The Matrix a little bit more? The later movies?
Yeah.
The first one for sure.
Yeah.
I'm talking more the second one because a lot of people didn't like the architect. A lot of people didn't like 2. I personally love 2, but
I like 2.
Does watching the Westworld does it make you appreciate, go back, like some of these things that they were putting in there, does it make you appreciate from Westworld those movies now?
I would say I like some of the aspects they were talking about. It's just maybe the dialogue was a little bit clunky in the movie, and so maybe it didn't hit with me as well. But I like the ideas that they were hitting on for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going. I meant to ask you that earlier.
That was it. And then you were saying something before and I cut you off.
Well, because I was talking to Avery about that, and because Avery now was finishing season 2, and he hasn't gotten season 3. He was mentioning like Lauren had said, the linear parts of the episodes where he was like, "What is going on?" And I told him, just give it some time; it'll make sense, and it does. And he's like every time, because he's watching it with me at work, so he's over there while I'm working, and I'll just hear, "Oh!" And I'm like,
wait.
Hey,
You're working.
No.
He's not working?
I will mute your microphone, sir.
Well, we're doing this work from home.
Yeah.
We work in. Everybody knows there's some times where we got some downtime.
He's allowed to have downtime. So what I'm saying is, he's like blown away, and he hadn't gotten to season 3 yet. I wanted to bring up something where this episode reminded me so much of Minority Report, where we have condemned people without them doing anything because we can't predict what they would do. And I thought that was so interesting that there's got to be thousands of people in there.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do with them? Like, when do you bring them out? Like, why don't you just either let them die or bring them back to life? Or because that's one thing I was really concerned about is you got this facility with all these people that are on ice. When you bring them out in 200 years or 300 years or whatever, what are they supposed to do? Their families are dead. Their kids that they might have had are dead. Does their social security number even exist? Like, I don't even know. What are you supposed to do with these people?
I don't think because again, you have to pass the program like Caleb. If you don't pass,
or he said 1 out of 9 or something like that.
So if you don't pass, you stay in that box. And it doesn't matter what happens to you because the system has deemed you as too unruly to get out. And I thought it was very interesting that
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead, no.
No, one thing going with Lauren, I think it is weird that the system doesn't just kill the people as opposed to just keeping them.
Just kill them.
Because I feel like logically, like that's just a waste of resources for the machine to have to deal with that. I don't know.
I mean, their families probably think they're dead because they got, they go to this facility or whatever. But go ahead and just let them go.
I think they don't kill them for the very reason that Caleb is so effective. If you want to catch an outlier or silence an outlier, who better to use than an outlier? So in other words, why kill them when you have the best resource at your disposal? I don't have to train someone to do this. I already have someone on staff. Like, why would I? It's almost like, why would I hire somebody to do a job when I can look over and be like, oh, I already got you here. I don't have to train you. I don't have to give you extra health care, benefits. I don't have to pay you. You're already here. So once that person actually, if they eventually do pass the program, I can reintegrate them into society and they do my bidding. And then so it's one of those things.
Program. What you said, they have to pass the program. And how can you do that if you're on ice?
True. So 1 out of 9, you bring them out, you check them. Oh, you're not ready yet? Put them back in. And so it's one of those things. And I hate to say it, make it sound like Hot Pockets, but
that's like put them in the oven and cook a little bit longer. Okay.
And then they come out and you're like, because it's too hot. It's too hot.
I mean, that's what Caleb is. He's a hot pocket. He literally was in there and he worked. And what did they do? They literally sent him back out there thinking he was a veteran. And honestly, he was going to think this until Dolores showed up. So now the question is,
that's the question I had. Okay, was he really a veteran? Did he really serve in?
He did.
Okay.
He did. The thing is, he was honorably discharged.
Yeah.
And then what happened? He got on the program. And the program said, we're not going to let these skills go to waste, because this is the thing. They funneled him into the military to begin with. And that's the one thing we were talking about last week. It's not that Rehoboam is just in charge and is giving you data. it is manipulating the world around you to take away opportunities that could help you. So here we have these veterans who, what's the big thing right now? Veterans and getting them back to work after all these years of war and reintegrating them in society. Well, now you don't have to, because all you got to do is retrain them to take out your enemies. And that's exactly what they were doing. And here's Caleb thinking, oh, I was doing my country a service, and it wasn't even for my country. It was literally for a company.
And whatever pill they were taking was supposed to like dull their emotions and kind of keep them focused on that job.
More palpable to do the job that they were that Grand Theft Auto told them to do. Click here, 1,500 credits.
Oh man!
I mean, so yeah, I really appreciated that. I want to ask you all about Michael. You brought up Control, and we see now the comedic duo of Hubs or Stubbs and Bernard.
Hubs.
What part do they play in all of this? Because it just seems, I don't know. What is their purpose? I don't know.
Again, as we continue to plug other stuff that we did working with the Multicultural Sci-Fi Organization group, Amanda on there asked us our favorite character, and I said mine was Bernard. And I still like him. I still like him, but this episode was like, oh, what are you doing? Because you know that William hates host guts. He has made that abundantly clear. I don't understand how you thought just letting him walk around was a good idea.
Especially after he was in there, he said, "Yeah, I beat myself up over this, literally."
Yeah.
And now I'm going to kill every single one of you.
And then he found out that Stubbs is the host.
Yeah, that was cool.
You too?
I think, and the teaser made it seem like he was going to shoot them. I don't think he will, because I feel like Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy are smarter than that. But it's still taking us down this setup seems like it's unnecessary and a waste of 10 minutes or however long it was in this episode. But
it's like until you kill William, he's always going to have this goal in mind, so that's going to be on them to figure out how to kill him.
Honestly, I don't understand. I don't understand what their purpose is, because one of the things I'm wondering is when you look at William and you're like, okay, William is here. William has admitted, I hate you. I hate you. The original sin has been host. I don't see you as real life forms. I don't give a whatever about you. And now I'm going to eradicate your entire species. And Bernard's like, nah, man, we might need him.
Yeah, it's very weird.
But for what? And things like Bernard and Stubbs are always like 7 steps behind. I don't know when they're going to be able to use their intelligence that they have to catch up with Dolores or Maeve or anybody. They're just out here just kind of, oh, this is what we just saw in 2 episodes ago, or oh, this, so I'm just like, when are we going to get to,
Because my thing is this. I guess my question is, are Bernard and Stubbs picking up the pieces of are they like the backup plan? Let's say Dolores, it doesn't work. Whatever Dolores has in plan, because I'm still under the belief that Dolores is attempting to break this control Serac has over society. I want to believe she's doing the right thing. I could be wrong. Bernard seems to think that there's some ulterior plan Dolores has to destroy all humanity. But what if Bernard is wrong and he's there as her checks and balances, that if her plan does not work, Bernard, you have to carry on, or maybe there's a better way. And I guess that's why I've always looked at Bernard as more or less like, we can peacefully coexist with the humans. Meanwhile, William is like, I'm going to shoot you in your robot face.
Yeah.
And I get maybe that's what's going on, because I have not been, maybe since the Wicked Games episode with The Weeknd, when his song was in there, I haven't been impressed with the two of them since then. Because they, like you said, they've been 2 steps behind every episode. Yeah. And yeah, they fill in some things like we now know why Dolores sent William to this facility and spun him up to be crazy so they could find out where Solomon was. So they could, I understand that now, but still we haven't, like, what is their purpose? Whose side are they on? Are they on their own? Like, there's so many questions, like Lauren says, I don't know.
We got 1 episode to find out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, unless they try to save it to next season.
Answers. Yeah, because we know there's going to be a season 4.
Yeah.
So,
what did you like about this episode besides the fight?
I'll pass. I mean, the action was really good for me. Like the story moved, but I guess because season 1 and season 2 did a good job of doing these huge monumental twists and shifts and be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened. And for me, it's not saying that they did this. I might have built up the expectations in my head, but I was expecting some type of twist on Caleb, and it wasn't. It was just your brainwashed kind of Manchurian Candidate style or whatever of killing a dude. It's like, I just expected more.
Would you have wanted him to be a host?
I don't know if I needed him to be a host because I think we got enough people being hosts. That's fine, but I don't know what I wanted. I just wanted something different from his reveal of what happened to him. But shout out because we got to hear from my boy Enrico Colantini, so that was cool. I was excited. That's great. Everybody watch Person of Interest. It's a great show.
And shout out to Kid Cudi out here acting.
Yeah.
I think Kid Cudi can act. I think it's funny because wasn't Kid Cudi in the last movie Aaron Paul was in? Need for Speed.
Oh, Need for Speed.
Remember?
Was he his friend?
Wasn't he the friend?
The only person I remember in that was him, and I guess was that Imogen Poots was the female actress. I don't remember who else was in that movie, but it might have been Kid Cudi.
I got the internet right here, my friend.
The Need for Speed.
Yep, because he was the gadget man, remember?
Yeah, okay, sure.
He was the computer guy. Lauren, what about you? Besides the fights, as you have on your Wakanda shirt on, besides the women fighting,
I mean,
what was your
yeah, I mean, I did like seeing Clementine in the beginning. That was great. You know, she hit us with the, yeah, that's me. And let's go. I really enjoyed that. And that kind of got the ball rolling for me for the episode. Yeah, I think the fight scene was great. I did like Solomon because I feel like every major, you know, enemy or whatever antagonist has somebody that's opposite of them, but might still be on the same track as them. I feel like the good stories, they have like, this is the bad guy, this is the bad image, this is the bad thing, but there's also someone who's just as bad, but different from this other bad guy, right? Just to make that as simple as can be. And so I did enjoy Solomon and the fact that he is flawed, but still was able to give them some purpose and give them the ability to set a new path forward. So, you know, him telling Dolores, like, you know, give me some time to figure out the best move forward for y'all. And then Dolores, you know, went out and fought. And then, like, right as she was getting ready to, you know, to hit that EMP, which that's what she hit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. He was like, we have a new path forward and Caleb is going to be taking charge. You know, so I really did enjoy Solomon in that regard, like in that aspect of he's still, even though he's flawed, he's still like able to get all this stuff done and able to still be a boss, you know, in his own right. And what else I like? I liked Maeve coming off the helicopter and them using the helicopter and the drone gun.
The drone gun was very cool
because it's locked onto Maeve, right? The drone gun was locked on the Maeve, and the helicopter the VF 103 or whatever. I forgot. There was something that was out there that you saw the siding and saw the number for it. But that the helicopter was locked on to Dolores and, you know, eventually shot her arm off. So I did enjoy that and how technology is going to be used in the future to fight. I mean, you know, it was a great example of what we could see in the future. And probably what's already out there now, but I'm not in those circles, so I don't know.
You got that top secret clearance.
I don't know, but yeah, and then them marking, so like when they flash back to Caleb's life and he was in the service and in the military, and they were on that recon mission, and you could see like the handprint on the back of somebody's shirt that the drone strike was able to pick up, and then they had the X's on their shirt, you know, the drone strike was pick on them. So that I'm just like, yo, what kind of technology is this that we're just picking up DNA or whatever the material was that they used to make those images on the back of those people's shirts and jackets? I don't know. It was just like technology overload for me. And so I appreciate Westworld for that, because like we said, in the first season, it was dusty, right? The biggest technology was, I mean, dusty kind of like almost on the level of Star Wars dusty, because they needed lotion. But in the beginning, the biggest technology was the host and being able to control the host with those pads, you know, the foldable pads and everything like that. And now we've graduated to this level where we're outside of Westworld. We're seeing the real world of what it's going to look like in 2024, or not 2024. That's a couple years, whatever the year is. There.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if we can get this in 2024, that'd be dope. But
that would be wild.
Coronavirus first. We need to get some PPE before we get
Where you get drone helicopters.
Before we get drone helicopter strikes, get PPE first. But I just continue to enjoy the technology with these episodes, and the fact that it's keeping me engaged. I'm just excited about that too.
I thought there was shade thrown AI. Solomon was I liked him, and I liked the little shade he was throwing, because like when he was coming up with the predictive models, he was like, now if you die, I got to change this.
I got to do this all over again. So
he
don't
was like,
die.
So, and I liked the whole when Dolores hit the EMP. He was like, hey, before you use that, and then the EMP hit. Caleb was like, I don't give a. He's like, I don't care. The one thing I think I liked about this show is Lauren, you hit it square on the head. The way they use technology and showing the future in real world applications. This show makes me now dislike Altered Carbon a little more, and it really makes me dislike the Terminator movies.
Well, I didn't make it through Altered Carbon. I think I watched 2 episodes of Altered Carbon, and I was just like, it's not hitting for me, because I know there's some better out there. It's better. There's better out there. I'm waiting on the Black Mirror, season to come out. So
for the first season, I thought was okay. I thought was pretty good. The second season, I thought was weak. You bring up Black Mirror, and I think the Westworld right now, this one season and all of Black Mirror, has shown us how technology will be manipulated in the future better than any recent Terminator movie. Because when we watched Dark Fate, and you saw exactly how technology was used in this timeline, you have Terminators who have unlimited amount of creativity coming back now, and the best they could do was a nanite exoskeleton with knife hands. Like I felt like when I'm watching Westworld and I'm seeing how these drones are being used, how the blood is being used to go back and forth to relay information to Dolores, the fact that she was smart enough to get William imprisoned so that she could track Solomon down to begin with. Like, I thought that whole line of thinking is just, even though I know, Michael, you not really a big fan of the episode itself, to me, that is just imaginative storytelling that I have not seen in any show that claims or movie that claims to be about the future. Like,
and I wonder what that writing room was like. Did they just throw ideas up and say, you know what, we can make this work. We can make this work. We can make, versus, yeah, like that Terminator,
And again, I loved everybody in Dark Fate. I loved everybody in the movie. I just thought the execution was poorly done because the blood that they injected him with as he goes to the loony farm was set up from when they put him
The
in
loony farm.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
not. Asylum.
I don't know what it's called. Wherever they put him,
It ain't called a loony farm.
whatever it's called.
It's not.
The fact that Dolores injected him with the idea of knowing wherever he goes, we would be able to use the blood. And they set up the blood in episode 2 or 3, the blood doctor. Like you have seen that thread pay off all the way till now. That whole idea. And I just thought that was kind of amazing. And again, I still think Bernard and Stubbs, the bumbling, stumbling team that they are, haven't paid off yet. But I still think that one scene where Bernard is explaining, oh, there's something in his blood, because we saw that clip in the last episode where we all were speculating, is William a host? What's going on?
I speculated. I knew he was still real.
And so, but
Lauren
I guess so I guess to me, I love this aspect that we're keeping this whole chain of storytelling of this technology and how it's applied in the future. I'm just trying to figure out how is this all going to pay off at the end.
Man, they better not do this. I just had a thought. They better not do this, going back to William being a host. If he's a host and his hate for hosts is so strong and he finds out that he's a host and he takes his own life, bro, like, I'm going to be mad.
You know what?
William for y'all, because y'all don't like William, but I will be upset.
I'm going to be, kind of deserved it. Did you guys watch the special features at the end?
Yeah.
They talked about the fight?
Yeah, so I thought it was very interesting that the woman who plays Dolores, and I'm trying to remember what her name is,
Evan
but
Rachel
Thandie,
Wood.
Yes, Evan Rachel Wood and is it Thandie or Tandy?
I think it's Tandy.
Tandy Newton. Where Tandy Newton was like, I thought we were going to team up this season, and then we had to do the trope of us fighting, which I agree. Which to me, that kind of was like foretelling next season that they're going to team up. Like, did they get this trope out of the way for them to team up? Because I still believe that eventually they're going to have to team up. Dolores is going to find a way to convince Maeve, I am not your enemy. And Dolores is going to have to make some concession for Maeve to come to that line of thinking. I don't know if it's possible or is going to happen, but I do want to see it because, again, I don't like the trope of these two women having to fight, who are two of the most powerful characters in the show, and we've set them on a direct path against each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting because Maeve still has this drive to see her daughter, right? She wants to be in a place where I don't know, where Data goes to live free, in the cloud, the heavenly cloud of Data. But every time she says this to Dolores, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but Dolores kind of gives like a look of, but you ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I wish that Maeve could understand it a little bit more. Like, I wish she could really just stand in her ability to control technology around her with her mind, and control hosts with her mind. I wish she could just stand in that and just be like, okay, you are super powerful. And yes, I know you want your daughter, but you could do so much more without her. And that sounds weird, but without her being like the focus of your story,
I guess
I don't know.
I guess I understand the whole pull of the whole daughter thing, but I'm kind of like you. I'm a little, I don't want to say tired of the daughter thing.
I got a whole other mom that was printed. Another mom was printed for her. Okay.
I guess I'm just like, I feel like Maeve hasn't had an opportunity to go to the cloud, and if you really wanted to go, there was a way for you to have gone. You could have went.
And I feel having this storyline of like a mother's love is super strong, and even as a host, this love of your child is very strong, and I understand that. But at this point, it's like just something. Let's do something different.
I guess it goes back to that conversation we had last week, where this black woman, is having to ask for her freedom, and and the thing that I think, and we've heard this in real life, no one gives you your freedom. You gotta fight for it, because no one is going to let you go who owns you or owns without there being some fight or struggle. So so I guess I kind of feel like Maeve working with Sirach, she has to, but I feel like Maeve, you kind of need to be behind, looking at the person holding your leash. And I hate using that term with women this way, but you need to pay attention to who has you on that short leash, because that man does not have your best interests at heart. No. You see what he's capable of. You may not agree with everything Dolores does or has done, but who's better, the devil you know or the devil you don't know?
The devil you don't, man.
Because we know Sirach is on some mad scientist, if I rule the world type stuff. Mm-hmm. Where Dolores is just like, yeah, I just want to fight for me and my people. And I guess I wonder how we're going to rectify that. And I'm with you, Lauren. I'm not hating the whole daughter thing, but I am kind of like,
let's move on.
Yeah, Sirach ain't gonna let you go, son. Because and this is the thing, he wants that data for himself. Yeah. What does he want that data for, and why does he want it? And I guess these are questions that Maeve needs to be asking, because if he's willing to kill, destroy, maim, do whatever it takes to get that, you're not even real to him. Mm-hmm. You're a toaster. So why do you think he's going to do whatever he's promised you once he gets that data?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it. But I'm still on board. Can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to get the episode up sooner.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know.
I always run into some technical difficulties on Sunday nights, man.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Y'all throwing shots now? Is that what it is?
I mean,
no, not at. I wasn't. No, I was just letting the viewers know we try to get it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate both of y'all. How about that? How about both of y'all? How about that?
That's fine.
How about that? You know what? I'm about to log on this computer, send a drone y'all house. Or y'all got jokes. Let me see Amazon. See how long it takes for Amazon to get me a Westworld drone.
Lauren, where can they find us?
You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I don't know if we got a TikTok yet, but there might be a TikTok where we're doing all the challenges and things.
There might be a TikTok where you doing all the challenges.
Also, WOTX.com.
And WOTX.com, yeah.
Hit the like, comment, subscribe button and the notification button on the YouTubes. All the stuff around everywhere. I guess, and I think we out.
Yeah.
Peace.